what is it that is in you that you constantly do, but your inner you knows this is not what you're supposed to do? Misalignment. It creates internal conflict. You'll be out of place. You are living against your conviction. You know this is wrong. Purpose answers the question, why you exist? What do you carry? What are you meant to contribute? What does it mean to live in alignment? And how will I live in alignment? And why should I live in alignment? And I will record another video perhaps to show you what are the signs that you're not living in alignment, so that you can assess yourself to determine that. Now, let me define that to you. What is alignment? What is it that we talk about, right? And this is what I want to say. Alignment is this. Alignment is when your inner life agrees to your outer life. Alignment is when your action or actions reflect your convictions. Alignment is when your direction aligns or agrees to your assignment. Alignment is when your lifestyle supports your purpose. That is in its simplest form. What do they mean, or what do I mean by all of that? Listen, this is where we need to start. That you are a spirit. The true essence of who you are is a spirit. You live in a body, and you have the emotions, you have your will, and you have your feelings. In totality, we call them your soul. Now, when God created the real you, this spirit, he had placed inside of you direction, purpose, assignment, convictions, truth. There are things that are resting in you as we speak, as a spirit. As a spirit. And alignment is when you, as a physical and perhaps as a soul being, you live in alignment with that which God created in the first place. I hope I'm clear there. Very important. Let me go far. When you create a chair, let's say, a manufacturer of a chair, a plastic chair, the manufacturer of a chair from the factory will determine the specification of that specific chair. They will say, this chair can only be sat by a person who is, let's say, 100 kilograms or 200 lbs. If anybody above 100 kgs sits on this chair is going to collapse. Think of me again, about a car. Nissan, Toyota, whichever brand. They've created that car. From factory, they knew this car is created with an engine with this amount of horsepower, with this kind of engine that will support this fuel, that it is petrol or diesel that goes into this car. And that car was sent to the market, or a person bought. That car was determined from factory, the specification to run that car. Listen, that is exactly your life. Everybody watching me right now, every person, every human being came with some specifications from the maker. And that maker gave you those traits. Now you found yourself here. To live in alignment, is to go back to the maker and to the owner, to the factory, understanding, hey, factory, what is the oil I'm supposed to put inside of me? What is the kg that I'm supposed to carry? What is my horsepower? And then once you know your horsepower, you live your outer life, the soulish you and the physical you, in agreement with the inner you. That is in its simplest form. What does the word alignment means? Now, misalignment means you are in constant internal conflict. You don't feel in place. Whatever you're doing doesn't align, because now when you are in misaligned, the spirit you will speak out to say, no, you are not created for that. You try to put a diesel in a petrol car, that car will collapse. Try to put a 150 kg in a chair that handles 100 kg. Yes, maybe it will handle, but if you continue to do that, it will crash, it will break. Same thing. What is it that is in you that you constantly do, but your inner you knows this is not what you're supposed to do? Misalignment. It creates internal conflict. You'll be out of place. You are living against your conviction. You know this is wrong. And that is why this will be some sort of a judgment to people who don't know about Jesus Christ. Now, I'm not talking about Jesus Christ necessarily, but listen. Every person has in them an inbuilt system that knows good and evil. God is smart. He deposited in you the capacity to know good and evil. Even when you live in the forest, you will know something is evil, because it's in you. Now, let me just not go into that. So you have conviction in you. You have things in you that you know these are not right, these are wrong. And if you live against them in a physical, or in your will, or in your mind, or in your emotion, then you're living against your alignment, and you feel misaligned. Very important. Alignment is an internal agreement with your purpose, why you exist in the first place. Very important. Now, many people are active and successful, but they are misaligned. What do I mean? It is possible that the spirit you was designed for this, but because you have a will, you have your mind, you have the capacity in your body, you can use these things to succeed beyond the measure on an earthly perspective against that which your spirit was designed to succeed in. And that is where lack of fulfillment is found. And we'll discuss in another time. I'll record a video for you talking about fulfillment, your path to fulfillment. How are you going to attain fulfillment? One of the ways you are going to attain fulfillment is by you living in accordance with your purpose. So you can be successful. Why? Because you have used your mind, you have used your will, you have used your push motivation, your pull motivation, you have committed, you have been disciplined, you have silenced your spirit, you have done marvelous things from a soulish and bodyish perspective, and you have attained results. But all of those results were actually against that which your spirit feels. So you still feel the conflict in you, spirit lamenting that no, we are not designed for that. You're successful. So many people are active, many people are successful, but they're misaligned. Why? Because they are not in alignment with what they are supposed to do. Your life will carry meaning, your life will have success, your life will have happiness, true happiness, when the spirit you lives in alignment, or your soulish you and your body lives in alignment with the spirit you. Your spirit you gets the permission to manifest all that it was designed to manifest. I hope you're following. Alignment starts with the identity. I mentioned this. I won't talk into that. Alignment starts with your clarity of purpose. Why are you here in the first place? Why are you here in the first place? I have also faced this sometimes. I have faced this when I knew I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing. Not something that is seen, but I was not designed to do this. So my spirit will cry out that no, there is a better version of this thing. There is a better way of doing this. There is actually a better path than the path you are currently taking. And if I persist, yes, I might be successful. I might accomplish. I might have things. But still, there's a cry in me. So I'll be successful, but I'm happy. If I desire happiness as something in my life, then I need to go back to the mind. Understand, why am I here? Once you have the clarity of purpose, that I'm doing something that gives me joy, something that fulfills me, something that is inherently in me, that's where joy comes. So clarity of purpose. Purpose answers the question, why you exist? What do you carry? What are you meant to contribute? That is, if you answer these three questions, you're on your path to understand purpose. Why do you exist? What am I carrying? And what am I meant to contribute? These answers, the answer to this question, will reveal the definition of purpose. And now, in your outer life, in your soulish life, you live to fulfill those three things you have identified. Without purpose, people drift into comparison, into distraction, into random living. You just live randomly. You have no direction. You have no sense of where you're going. And all of that results into chaos in your spirit. Purpose gives direction to energy. Your energy is directed into attaining something. Like, why do you think we record this video on a daily basis? We record this video on a daily basis because we have a vision of the future. We have a vision of the community we are building. And you are the community. And as we share this, we find joy in doing this. We find happiness in doing this. And you are edified as you also listen and engage. Very important. Purpose organizes your life. And an organized life is an happy life when you live in accordance with your purpose. Very important. Alignment becomes difficult when purpose is unclear. You don't know where you're going. How can you live in alignment? It becomes very unclear. Your lives, you need to live in accordance with your values. This is an exercise that I always encourage people. Sit down and examine yourself. Test, what are my values? What do I believe? What are my convictions? What is it that I believe? Then maybe question your source of the beliefs. Where did you get that source of whatever you believe? And as you are questioning that source, maybe some things won't be right, and that's where you can distinguish limiting beliefs. It's fine. But once you have conviction that you've examined and you have proven them to be true, you just need to live in accordance with them. Why? Because if you don't live in accordance with them, again, misalignment. You know this is false, you still do it. You know this is wrong, you still do it. You know this is incorrect, you still do it. Even if you do it, your spirit will tell you, no, that was bad. You are not supposed to do that. Misalignment leads to unhappiness. Very, very important. You should seek to live in alignment. Why? The question is that. Why should I live in alignment? Yeah, I'm answering that question to you. If you desire peace in your life, aligned. And that this is different for everybody. Why? Because we're made different. Some of us are minimalist. Some of us are extravagant. Some of us are abundant. Some of us, I've seen people who don't need much, not because they don't, not because, what's the word I should use? Not because they can't have much, yes. It's because inherently in them, they were designed to have just fine, to have just minimal life. And they're happy. The moment they attain great abundance, they are happy. You just need to examine yourself because you're different. Some people, they will live well in hiding place. They just want to do things in private. I know them. And whenever they come in public, they feel bad. They feel out of place because that is them. Everybody has their own place. It's understanding who you are and living in accordance with that. Alignment produces peace. Peace is not an absence of problems. Peace results from direction, from conviction being fulfilled, from internal agreement. Listen, there are people who are interested in solving problems. They love you to bring problems to them. Why? Because they were created to be problem solvers. They thrive in chaos. They thrive in problems. Some people are problem bringers. So they also thrive in creating chaos. But some people are problem solvers. They thrive in solving problems. So problems do not cause peace to disappear. No, problems cause peace to disappear when they're exposed to a wrong person. I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's understanding who you are. An aligned person may face pressure but still carry peace. You are doing that which you love. Like if you tell me today I should go and play football, my goodness, no, I won't love it. Why? Because football is not in me. But if you tell me, hey, talk for hours, I can talk this for hours. And perhaps I might not even need bullets. I know, hey, what are we talking about today? Okay, we're talking about faith. Okay, let's find the story and talk about faith. And we talk for hours and hours and hours. Why? That is maybe in me, created in me. You may be different, someone else may be different. Very important. Peace comes from alignment. Now, if you desire peace, if you desire happiness, you should live in alignment. Seek to avoid internal conflict. Seek to avoid drained spirit. Seek to avoid things for approval. Seek to live in accordance with your inner conviction. Seek to fulfill that which you are born to fulfill. And all of those things will give an overall fulfillment and happiness in life. Think with me for a minute. Jesus is our model man. When you talk about Jesus, you talk about our model man. That guy knew why he was here in the first place. He lived in perfect alignment. He didn't let public distract him. He didn't let popularity distract him. He didn't let pressure control him. He didn't let public opinion move him. No. He moved with an understanding of why am I here? What am I here to do? And by 33, that's interesting. That's an interesting life. But you don't actually need up to 90. Anyways, living up to 120, it's a blessing maybe. Yes. But it may be a blessing maybe to a person who doesn't necessarily know why they're here. I might be stoned for that. All that I'm saying is, once you know what you're here to do, you get to live with purpose, with direction, with clarity. Where am I going? And you fulfill it. Why do you want to stay? Very important. So Jesus is our model man. He lived intentionally, purposefully, directionally. He didn't let any of the things I mentioned distract him. Aligned people are not easily distracted. Where am I going? I love what Pastor Chris mentioned the other day. He said, learn to not look at what others are doing. Learn to not look at what others are doing. He went as far as saying, your definition of success is wrong. Why? Because you are not the one who sent them. That hit me very hard. That I am not the one who sent them. I might think they are performing well and doing exploits, but God who sent them knows what they're supposed to do, the capacity of their achievement, the capacity of whatever God has deposited in them. So learn to focus on you and what is in you by examining what is in you. And as you examine, you put it out and you want to fulfill it and accomplish it. Learn not to look on what others are doing. Very, very important. When purpose is clear, distraction loses power. Where are you going in life? Where are you going in life? What do you want to achieve? What is the reason for your existence? Why were you born? What do you carry? What is it that you contribute to the universe? And as you answer those questions and you expose them here, and you will live in accordance with that, you live in alignment. Until we see each other another time, God bless you. Continue to seek that alignment everywhere you go. Shalom.